Hey everyone, welcome to Keller Acres. Today I'm making sourdough pumpkin cinnamon rolls. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is something that you need to start early in the day or the night before, one or the other, because once we do these, mix these 4 first ingredients, they're going to need to sit together for about 10 to 12 hours before we can finish the process. So I'm starting mine early in the morning and then I'm gonna bake them tonight. But you could do it the opposite. You could start it at night and bake them in the morning. That would probably make a lot more sense, but anyway, this is how I'm doing it. All right, so we need 3 cups of flour. I've got mine all measured out here, all purpose, or you can use bread flour if you prefer. I just always use all purpose. So I've got 3 cups of flour, 1 cup of milk. I'm using whole milk. 1 cup of active bubbly starter. And then 1 cup of pumpkin puree. So there's more than 1 cup in a can, and we're going to be using the rest later. So save that. Don't throw that out. We will be using it, but we only need a cup of it for now. Gonna mix all this together really good. It's that time of year. Pumpkin stuff is so good. Thanksgiving's coming. This would be a great thing to have if you're having company, spending the night, or even not, an extra dessert at Thanksgiving, or any time. Cinnamon rolls are always good, and this little pumpkin twist I think is gonna be super good. Just get it all nice and mixed together. Okay, it's all mixed together. I'm gonna cover this, and like I said, this is gonna sit on the counter all day, 10 to 12 hours. I'm gonna show you a quick peek. All right, here's what the dough looks like. I'm just gonna put a towel over mine, set it off to the side, and I'll be back later this evening. Okay, welcome back. Now my dough has been sitting for about 10 hours. I'm gonna show you that real quick. So now we're gonna finish adding in our ingredients. Okay, so first, we're gonna add an egg. I've got my room temperature egg. And you need your stand-up mixer with your dough hook ready on it. Got that all ready. Next, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of coconut oil softened. Then 2 tablespoons of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice. Hook it up to our mixer. I'm gonna get this all mixed together well, and then we'll put it out on our floured surface to knead it a little bit more, and then we'll roll it out. Turn it off and scrape the sides down. Okay, and back to mixing. Okay, now we're gonna get this onto our floured work surface. You're gonna be using up to a cup of flour because this dough is still pretty wet and sticky. Okay, now we're just gonna knead this. Definitely gonna need some more flour. It is super sticky. Just gonna be kneading this until it gets nice and smooth and is no longer super sticky like it is right now. Almost there. Okay, now we're gonna roll this out into a nice big rectangle. Got our rectangle? Now we need a 1/2 cup of softened butter. We're gonna butter our rectangle. Just using a pastry brush to brush my butter on. I'm using unsalted butter, but you can also use salted butter, of course. I just usually buy unsalted. That way you can kind of control the salt in what I'm making. Because you can always add, you just can't take away once it's there. So then we're going to be spreading a 1/2 cup of brown sugar mixed with a tablespoon of cinnamon. And you want to just spread that over the top of this butter, leaving about 1 inch or so along the edge. Okay, got my cinnamon and brown sugar. I'm just gonna sprinkle this. Again, it's a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I'm using dark brown sugar. You can use light if you prefer. I just like dark brown sugar. That's what I always bake with. And a tablespoon of cinnamon, and I mixed that together. And I'll just take my mini spatula, spread that out. Again, leaving like 1 inch or so border around the edges. Okay, now we're gonna roll it up. And if you need a little to flour your fingers a little bit, that's not a bad idea. This is a much stickier dough than what I'm used to working with. I've made a lot of cinnamon rolls, but I haven't made this pumpkin one before, and it is a lot stickier. Kind of turn my log here so you can see it better and make it a little easier to cut. Then kind of just pinch the edges down on the sides and make sure you have a pan buttered and ready to go to put these in. Okay, now we're just gonna slice this. Slice into 12 rolls, so I'm gonna slice down the middle first. I like to do it in fourths. And then each fourth I do 3. Then once we get these in the pan, we're gonna cover them again and let them rise for another hour or 2 until doubled in size. Then we'll be ready to bake. Here's my little rolls. Okay, there they are. Now we're gonna cover them with plastic wrap or tin foil and let them rise for another hour or 2 until doubled in size. Okay, our pumpkin cinnamon rolls are rising, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the frosting. So what we need for the frosting is 2 to 3 cups of powdered sugar, a 1/4 cup of softened butter, and a 1/4 cup of softened cream cheese. I've already got 2 cups of powdered sugar in my mixer. So I've got that ready to go. Gonna add in my butter now, my cream cheese, and since they're pumpkin cinnamon rolls, we're adding in the rest of our pumpkin puree that we didn't use, which should be about 1/2 cup. I'm just throwing in what's left in the can. I assume that's about 1/2 cup, hopefully. I have never put pumpkin puree in cream cheese frosting, so this will be interesting. Hopefully it's good. We're gonna find out. I love cream cheese frosting though. So good. Get this mixing. So when I make my cream cheese frosting, what I have come to realize is that I like to always use equal parts butter to equal parts cream cheese. And then just however much powdered sugar gets it to the consistency that you want. Add in another cup of powdered sugar. And we'll see. I like a certain consistency, so maybe it'll end up being more than 3 cups of powdered sugar. We'll see. Looking at the consistency, I do want to add more powdered sugar. Okay. That was about 3/4 of a cup-ish. Looking good. Gonna scrape it down and taste test it again. A little more powdered sugar. Probably about another 1/2 cup. So this is gonna have a little over 4 cups total of powdered sugar. Okay, so again, you can get this to whatever tasting consistency you like. I like my frosting to be a little bit thicker. Maybe you like yours to be a little thinner. I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside for later. Okay, these are all set and ready to go in the oven. Preheat your oven to 350, and these are gonna bake for 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, I just pulled the cinnamon rolls out. Mine only took 30 minutes, so be sure to check yours just in case. Oven times can vary, but they're nice and golden brown on top. I checked the sides and they are definitely done. I'm gonna let these cool for just a bit before I frost them. All right, I have the cinnamon rolls frosted. Cut one out to taste it. They are really good. Definitely a different spin on the cinnamon roll, but very good. So my advice, if you decide to make this recipe, is to cut that frosting recipe way down. Look at this. I have tons of leftover frosting. Yep, I didn't really think that part through. I was just mostly following the recipe, although I do my cream cheese and butter a little differently. It didn't have equal parts, and that's how I always do mine, but whoa, way too much frosting. So maybe instead of a 1/4 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of cream cheese, I would cut that in half. Try that instead, and then obviously cut your powdered sugar down to more like 2 cups. unless you want a lot of leftover frosting. Nothing wrong with that. You could use it for cookies. It's really good. All right, so here we go. Sourdough pumpkin cinnamon rolls. Nice fall treat. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.